Being a dad is simultaneously joyful and hard as all get out.
Yes.
We gave you what to do for Mother's Day gifts. We're going to try to encourage you. Being a dad is better when we are together doing it, Daniel.
That's right.
And so that's why the Dad Pod is here. And we are here to give you some advice on how to be a good dad when it comes to a thing that's blessed in all the gifts that is being a dad. And that, my friends, is the glorious taste of whiskey. We're going to give you that.
Let's talk about
here
that.
on the Dad Pod next.
What is up, y'all? I am Daniel, and he is Clint, and this is the Dad Pod, Episode 2. Thanks so much for tuning in. We are talking about whiskey today. Now, listen, there's a lot of aspects to being a dad. It's a tough job being a dad.
Very tough job.
We recommend being present while being a dad.
Please.
But sometimes you need a little something to take the edge off.
If
dad.
the kids go to sleep, you got a book that maybe it's family time around nice little fire. It's nice little breeze coming in. You're reading a book.
Sometimes you can use whiskey to remove yourself, to not be present. That's not the way we recommend.
We're not encouraging you to do that. As a matter of fact, if you're doing that,
Stop
and do the opposite.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can actually, when used the correct way, it can actually make you more present, bring you in to the family, bring you in to the conversation.
That's
so
exactly right.
why don't you talk more about that? And I'm gonna pour some over here.
That's fantastic. We want to educate you on great whiskeys as a dad, something to have on, and something even we're going to give you at the end of the episode, maybe something that you can have on hand that you only do for special occasions, like when your son or daughter does something incredible and you could celebrate and have that memory. We talked memory as in smells of the home last pod when it was talking about Mother's Day gifts and candles. What if I was to tell you that you can have the same memory when you look at a bottle and you enjoy that taste reception?
Takes you back.
It takes you back. Nostalgia is there again.
You love it. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. Before we jump into today's episode, subscribe to the channel if you're new and you're checking us out over here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. It's a new YouTube channel. And if you ever run across a YouTube channel that's new and you think to yourself, oh, these guys seem all right, and you just want to do something nice for them, there's literally nothing nicer that you could do. Just subscribe to the channel. That's all that we would ask of you, and that'd be fantastic. All right, so let's get into whiskey number 1, Clint.
That's right. Whiskey number 1. We're going to go nice little cocktail pour. If you like yourself an old fashioned. If you like yourself...
Who doesn't?
If you don't know what a Vouqueret is, go find out what a Vouqueret is. Go on down to New Orleans. Educate yourself on that. So we're going to go. First up is cocktail whiskeys, then sipping whiskeys, and then special occasion. Okay. So I'm going to lead us out of the gate with what I consider a fantastic cocktail mixer, and that's Old Granddad. If you've seen this and you've thought to yourself, this truly can't be that good. The name is kind of weird. The logo is bizarre. What is happening here? It's Kentucky bourbon. It is fantastic in a cocktail. There are others out there, but in all honesty, bang for buck and taste profile within a cocktail, you're not looking for something that you're going to sip on and it has those notes of complexity, and yet this still does have nice notes all the way through from top to bottom. But it's going to fit very nicely in that old fashioned. It's going to fit very nicely paired with that sweetness and a little bit of the bitters coming through. So if you don't know what Old Granddad is, go familiarize yourself with it. Daniel, what are you paying? I'm getting this, I think, a little cheaper than I was a while ago.
It's really, it's really quite and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a moderately priced thing because, again,
that's right.
A cocktail whiskey is not something that, like, you don't want the nicest stuff. You don't want to be wasting all of some of your nice stuff. But I have a standard. Like, I won't put anything in a cocktail that's not worth drinking on its own. That's the go-to rule. And one of the great things about Old Granddad and the one that I'm going to give you in a second is a little bit higher proof.
That's right.
Old Granddad 114, one of the
114,
higher proof numbers that you're going to find in the bourbon world. And so it's going to hold up against whatever it is that you're going to mix with it, whatever it is that you're putting in that cocktail. You want to really be able to taste the whiskey. And so Old Granddad, a great choice. And at least all of mine, I don't know, at least two of yours, maybe one of yours is hard to find. Maybe one of yours hard to get.
One of mine's going to be hard to get. The other two, very, very reasonable.
5 out of the 6 of these whiskeys, I'm going to tell you, you can go to the store today.
Whatever store it is that
and
is down
pick it up. It's there.
And so Old Granddad, by the way, around $30 is going to be your standard on that. And exactly what Daniel said. If you don't drink this alone, don't bother putting it in a cocktail. I would happily have Old Granddad on its own.
Absolutely. I'm going to do you one better, and I'm going to tell you that this guy right here, which is Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. Now, some of you look at this Evan Williams logo.
And by some of you, let me say, I was one of them. My man, I was in the liquor store searching around, and I texted him, and I said, hey, what are you drinking these days that's good that I should know about? And he gave me this pick. And I thought, when I saw it, I said, Daniel, you're a moron. And then I just trusted my gut.
You didn't trust your gut. You trusted me.
That's why I trust my gut to trust you.
My nickname is Clint's Gut. So that's what people have been calling me
for years now.
By the way, thank you, Clint, for letting us use your image on the Dad Pod logo. It's people are thrilled. They seem to be liking it, and I know that your wife was touch and go whether or not she wanted to release that to the public.
She finally consented on
that.
But yes.
She did, and we really do appreciate it. You trusted me because now listen, don't drink regular Evan Williams. It's trash. It's terrible.
Awful.
It's toilet water.
It really is.
But Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, it's 100 proof. It's aged 4 years, and Evan Williams Bottled in Bond is fantastic, and it is. I go up against anyone's picks, anyone's finds that they have. It is the best, cheapest whiskey that you can get.
It really is.
I mean, this is a 1.75, and I paid less than $25 for it for the big bottle. It's a fantastic. It is my only old-fashioned whiskey that I use. It is my number one go-to cocktail whiskey because you can get the big bottle of it and you're having a party. You're making a lot of drinks for a lot of people. I make old fashions with it. Like every year we host a big Christmas party. I'm making old fashions and passing them out. Everyone loves what they're getting, and they don't know that I only poured them 32 cents worth of whiskey, which... Listen, if you can give somebody something that's fantastic and delicious, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on them, what's the name of the podcast again, Clint?
It's the Dad Pod.
We're dads, so I happen to know some things about you, and one of them is you don't like spending money on people.
I don't.
No, you don't. So Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, that's the way to go.
Love it. We're going to come back after this and talk a little bit more, Daniel, about maybe some sipping whiskeys.
I'll sip on this right now.
Let's do it right now because this is what I want to do. I want to give you just straight out of the gate. Admittedly, I'm going to tell you the name of this. I'm showing it on YouTube. The Woodford Reserve Double Oak, and this is barrel finished. Daniel and I have a little tradition to ourselves. We, by the way, this might be a fun tradition for you to do as dads to other dads. On birthdays, we get on that old app that sends stuff straight to your door from the local.
You can deliver whiskey right to somebody's door. God bless the United States of America.
This is a real thing.
Come on.
This is a real thing. Daniel and I on each other's birthdays will send each other something. And I trust him with the Evan Williams. I also trusted him to give me something on my birthday. And this was from my past birthday. The Woodford Reserve Double Oak, barrel finished. It is fantastic all the way through. 90 proof, which isn't as high as, say, the Old Granddad, but this double oak taste and finish and sweetness, and yet not too sweet. Don't hear me say sweetness and think to yourself that it is not at all. That double oak finish is not going to make it too sweet. It's going to make it smoky all the way throughout the profile. It's going to make it very, very smooth. It is a fantastic sipping whiskey as I see, and it is something that I have, as you can tell, I've made it through.
I was just about to say, Clint, it hasn't been very long since your last birthday at time of recording. Is there something we need to?
No,
No?
I look, this old granddad I've had for over a year. Okay. So I don't, but this one,
but this one not as long.
This one I sip on quite a bit, that old nightcap.
You
It
like
is
that.
fantastic. And the Woodford Reserve, you might again hear the name and think just notoriety of it. No, I know what Woodford is. Woodford is that trash stuff, that mixing stuff you just throw in there. But again, we're talking $50, $60 at some places for this double oak finish.
Available everywhere. It's
Available
great.
everywhere.
It's fantastic.
I mean, you're talking like not just liquor store, but grocery stores. You can find this. I was
sure
skeptical
where you live, but
Go
they're
get-
not,
well.
they're not selling Woodford Reserve at the grocery store where I live. But
We don't want to talk about that.
sure what kind of depraved city state you live in, but save it for another episode.
Well, yeah, we'll get there. Maybe cities not to live in as dads.
I'm
do you
going
have
for
for
my sipping. I wanted to go with a rye. I do love a rye whiskey. I know you love a rye whiskey.
I do. In all honesty, we were thinking about both sharing this exact same.
It's one of our favorites. It's got a lot.
time.
It's got a little spice to it. It's got and just to be totally upfront, there's a lot of great rye whiskeys out there. There's a lot of not good rye whiskeys out there. And there's a lot of very expensive rye whiskeys out there.
Oh, heavens.
But when you find a rye whiskey that that's not too tough on the wallet, is readily available, and drinks absolutely fantastic, you absolutely lock that thing up. And for me, it is the High West Double Rye.
This is
Guys,
this is fantastic.
I don't know if you
can't
know
speak
about it
enough.
or not. It is a Park City, Utah distillery. You might be saying to yourself, what in the world
Don't do that.
would I be doing drinking a whiskey that comes out of Park City, Utah? That would be a huge mistake on your part, because Double Rye from High West is the best bang for the buck rye that there is out there. You get it for $40.
I was just going to
bottle.
say. Yep.
$40 a bottle, and you put it next to, I'm not saying this lightly, put it next to the Whistle Pigs of the world.
I was just going to say, one of my favorite
Put
ryes
it out there.
is in fact Whistle Pig. That's what I go ahead and save some money to buy on my birthday, and yet I'm always tempted every time I pass the double rye. I think, why don't I just
Why
do this?
wouldn't I just buy this
Yes.
and then have that same amount of money plus
lot
some
more money.
left over?
That's right.
High West Double Rye, can't recommend it enough. If you need something to sip on that is not just your average, the buddies that you sip on whiskey with maybe have never had this before. You want to introduce something new to the mix. High West Double Rye, can't recommend it enough.
No, it's fantastic all the way through.
We're not. By the way, we're not getting any. These are honest reviews. Not getting any sort of a kickback from any of these. If any
Not
of
a
these
single kickback.
If any of these
However-
distilleries want to sponsor the pod, we'd be more than happy to
And by
discuss.
sponsor, I mean,
Yep, say what you mean.
I mean, I give you my address, and you
Yes.
send me one of these. That's
Heck,
what I
if
mean.
any of the listeners want to sponsor the pod, in the sense that you just send us whatever. These are honest reviews, so
Yes, 100%.
no, absolutely no
not
money
paid
being
to say
exchanged
this.
here. Yeah.
Daniel is going to lead out with the last one. This is a special one. I'm going to save my special one.
Special occasion.
Till the end, because mine is truly special. You can get it in a couple places. I just got introduced to it, but Daniel's going to give you a special occasion, maybe birthday, maybe have it on hand for a kid's graduation, or the first time a new child into the world, not just their birthday or not just when they drive, but get a new kid into the world. Daniel, what are you?
I've drank this very beverage in many of those circumstances. For me, there's a lot of great special occasions. Now, I wanted to keep my criteria. You could walk in to the liquor store right now and pick it up.
Yes, it's a good one.
It's going to be a bit pricier than the other two selections that I've given you, because it's a special occasion.
That's right.
But for
Gotta
me,
have this in your bar.
it is a distinct taste. And I would say it's not for everyone, but that's a lie. It is for everyone. You just have to want it. you have to want it to be for you. And for me, the special occasion whiskey is always the Lagavulin 16-year. Lagavulin is my favorite Scotch. It is from the Isle of Islay, and that is my favorite island in the world in Scotland. I was actually recently there. And
Where you know?
If you've ever had a Scotch that tastes so smoky that it's like you're being hit in the face with a burning tire while you drink it.
This is a weird commercial for it.
That's what Islay Scotch tastes like. And there is a whole segment of people listening to this that are like, oh, yeah, okay, I want that.
Sign me up.
Sign me up for that. And then there's a whole segment of people that need to be educated. there's only two types of people. And this is it. So Islay Scotch, insanely smoky because they smoke all this peat. Moss, and you get a lot of salt. You get a lot of sea. The sea, it literally tastes at times like the ocean. It tastes heavily smoky.
It's surrounded by the ocean.
Lagavulin is the 16-year is an intense Scotch, but I absolutely love it. I am in fact sipping on it right now because Clint, I don't know, the Dad Pod is a special occasion. I don't like this is episode 2. Of the Dad Pod. There's people right now listening to this that are subscribing to the show as we speak. What better way to celebrate them than on this special occasion? This is for you.
He's going to pour one out for you. Oh, wait.
Well, I'm not going to pour it out.
He's going to pour it down.
In.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the opposite thing.
By the way, you get that around just, depending on where you are, $90, $100, something like that.
It's in the $100 range. Don't be afraid to spend $100 on this. You're not, listen, I'll say this about Lagavulin.
Tell them.
You're not going to drink it fast.
No,
You're not going to just like turn around one night and be like, oops, I drank half the bottle.
No.
That's not going to be the case.
They're sipping whiskey.
Yeah.
And then I need to get a smoking jacket.
Yeah.
And I need to film myself, and I need the mustache. Like it is an experience. Absolutely. I'm gonna give you the last one.
You snuck in film myself in there, and I can't be the only one listening.
Got weird.
Who's
I was thinking
what?
That it was like a commercial, like you put on the smoking jacket and you were about to film a commercial, but
if you made it to 17 and a half minutes into the Dad Pod, please leave a comment and let me know that you also heard that, because it got
real.
Strangely autobiographical. I feel like
it did not. I was thinking actually, what's that? It was really man of the world or smartest man or most adventurous man in the world, whatever that's what I was thinking. You know,
the most interesting man in the world.
That's the one. I don't watch TV, y'all.
That's the most roundabout way.
We're gonna talk about the Dad Pod, what you should be doing with your kids, and I don't watch TV. Okay. This next one, I'm gonna show you. It comes in this very stout.
Oh, it's got a box.
Beautiful. It's got a whole box to it. This is actually pretty hard to come by here in the States. You can find it. This is actually.
Was that a zipper? Did I just hear
No, there's foam. Oh. There was foam that it was the bottle was form fitted into the foam.
Oh, it's a little.
Yeah, there's a little.
I love that.
This is Kavalan, and this is out of Taiwan. Now you're gonna say to me, Clint,
we recommended something from Park City, Utah. We recommended a couple things from Kentucky.
And some of you all were like, "Come on."
We recommended something from Islay, Scotland.
We did.
And now we're recommending something from Taiwan. Just what people thought when they tuned into a whiskey show.
100%. This is going to be in a sherry cask. It is single malt whiskey, and it is some of the smoothest stuff I have had. Now, not smooth as in tasteless, because there's some Japanese whiskeys out there that you put in your mouth and you're like, it was too smooth. Like it's so distilled. It's like I don't want that. Now, if you like taste profiles, that's not what you want in a whiskey. Sorry,
you're looking to experience something.
You're still going to experience this. This is fantastic. Kapalan, I got this for a very special occasion from a friend of mine. Went over to Taiwan, brought it back. You can find this here in the States. You can get it at certain distilleries, certain liquor stores. It's going to be a little bit harder, but if you can get your hands on it, I'm telling you right now,
make the
find
effort.
Do put in
Can
the hard
confirm.
work.
I've had this. Clint shared a little bit of this bottle with me, and it is fantastic. Can confirm.
This is going to
Oh, you're
slowly go
gonna,
on down. This
and
is
then you're gonna get down to that last little sip, and you're never gonna use it. You're just going to sit there.
it's going to sit there until I am a grandfather. This is what's going to happen. Okay?
That is correct.
It's fantastic.
Till you're drinking it with your son. See, these are the,
See, this is legitimately, I am not kidding. This is legitimately something I will not use until my sons are of the time where they can enjoy this with me. 100% true, Daniel. And I'm not making that up. This is one of those. No. Go find you some of that. Go get whatever it is. If you want the Whistle Pig, the outrageously priced stuff just to have on hand, to have fun, go do it. If you want the Blantons, to go ahead and splurge and keep it as fun thing so that you can have a special, go do it. That's fine to do.
Yeah,
we recommend these things. These are traditions. These are rituals. These are fun things as a dad to have with your kids.
Absolutely. It's not frivolous spending. We're not saying go out and do it, 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. But you create some of these things that are attached to memories that bring all of your senses alive, that take you back to certain spots and certain moments. And maybe for you it's not whiskey. Maybe for you it's something else, and you've got other things that you really love. As a dad, sometimes you can get lost in parenting your kids. And for us, whiskey is one of the things that is just ours. It's just something that we like, that we get to do. Now, a lot of dads have too many of those things in their lives. But if you're a good dad, you don't have very many of them.
You have 1 to 3 is my recommendation.
Yeah. And so this is one of those things for us. Maybe it's not whiskey for you, at which point you've probably turned the show off already. But in case you haven't, whatever it is, go find it and make it yours, because as Clint opened the show with, being a dad is not easy.
No.
It is tough stuff. It is real life, and it will kick you in the pants. And sometimes you need some things to make it a little bit better. And this is one of them for us.
This has been the Dad Pod. Thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share this with others so we can get the word out. Being a dad is hard. Let's do it together.